Spirit, do I want to read this? Let's make her harder to play and make it easier for survivors to play against her. I even said that giving an indicator will defeat the purpose of her kit. But let's say that Behavior did decide to listen to us and give Spirit an indicator. So how does this hurt Spirit? Only problem is, the key thing is you hurt her phasing. You hurt her phasing, you pretty much mess up her kit. You mess up her kit, nobody will use Spirit. What is up, guys? It's your boy Migrant the Great. Long time no see. I apologize for a long absence. I needed a break from DBD, and there's a couple other reasons why I haven't really been playing DBD, but you guys are probably gonna find out in this video, depending on what these developer notes are. So let's get into it. A developer update. So we're back with another developer update. Okay, so we all know what developer updates are. So killer updates. Trapper, starting things off with a bang, or rather snap. We've made a series of small changes to the Trapper. Did you know that the number of bear traps that spawn on the map is random? That's right, each trial will spawn between 4 to 6 traps at random. Okay, so in my opinion, they honestly need to get rid of this RNG stuff. They need to, because 1, it's not good for the game, 2, it's not healthy. Now you could take this interesting little fact and completely forget about it, because that's no longer how it works. Okay, good. Now, 6 traps will always spawn, not including the traps that you load in carrying. This takes away some of the random elements in playing the Trapper and makes each match feel more consistent. Alright, I have been saying this for the longest time. This is a good change that Trapper really needed, because I felt that him walking around the map just to go pick up more traps was a burnout for him, is what killed him, because he lost a lot of early game pressure, which he needed. Having more traps is a great and all, but wouldn't it be nice to carry more than one without oh, thank you, Behavior. Finally. I'm not a Trapper main. It's just I've played enough Trapper to understand this frustration, to understand the frustrations that Trapper players are having. We sure think so. The Trapper will now be able to carry and start with 2 bear traps by default. That's good. This will help you get up and running quicker without relying on add-ons. The Trapper's bag add-ons have been adjusted or repurposed accordingly. Finally, on the subject of add-ons, we've done a pass on some of his least used add-ons and either increased their effects, removed their downsides, or gave them new effects entirely, such as Tension Spring, a high tension spring that snaps back into place after being stretched. A bear trap resets 2 seconds after survivor escapes from it. Okay. Trapper sack, a crude leather sack suitable for foraging. All bear traps are carried at the beginning of the trial instead of spawning on the map. Bear traps cannot be picked up. So once you place the bear trap, it's there. I disagree with this negative side. You should always be able to pick up your bear traps. But I mean, it's a good risk, but I think you should always be able to pick up your bear trap. Starting with all your traps, it's both a good and a broken thing in my opinion, due to the simple fact that he can literally it's good that he has all his traps. He's not losing any pressure. But the bad side about him having all of his bear traps, in my opinion, is that he can literally just lock down one side of the map. And it's like, let's say that he gets he's on a map where he can get a 3-gen, he can literally just lock down that 3-gen. Like that's just my opinion though. Spirit, do I want to read this? They're probably nerfing her and making her even more brain dead to play against. Well, I shouldn't even say even more, making her brain dead to play against. The Spirit has been a strong killer since her release. That is a fucking lie, Behavior, because on release she was weak as shit. And with that in mind, we've made some changes that aim to increase her skill ceiling, while it's also giving survivors some counterplay. Let's make her harder to play and make it easier for survivors to play against her. To add more skill into the survivor's counterplay, we're making 2 changes. Skill. Any survivor within 24 meters of the spirit will now hear a directional phase sound. Directional phase sound. I'm sorry, I started playing DBD when Behavior realized that her having a directional phase sound was ruining her. It made her unstrong. This lets you know whether or not she is phasing and also gives you a rough idea of which direction she's coming from. Hey, Behavior, while y'all are also at it, go ahead and make Huntress's humming directional. And Trickster's as well. The spirit's footsteps will now kick up dust while she is phasing. Keen survivors may be able to pinpoint where she is, but tall grass and other obstacles may make it difficult. Okay, I agree with this, but this whole thing, y'all make Trickster and Huntress's humming directional. That's what we might as well as do. And not only that, you might as well as. I understand we're at a different time in Dead by Daylight. Back then, Spirit, it's okay. So as I was saying, when Spirit first came out, she was weak as fuck. But y'all want to give her the things back that made her weak? Like literally, this whole thing. Oh my God, Behavior. I even said that giving an indicator will defeat the purpose of her kit. So now we're just giving survivors just too much information. Let's continue on before I continue to. These 2 changes aim to add more skill into playing as and against Spirit. Add more skill. Hold on. Add more skill into playing as if tracking survivors by sound isn't already skillful enough as and against the spirit. I'm just gonna go ahead and say this. What skill is there in Survivor? If I'm being honest. What skill is there in Survivor? And reduce the reliance on a coin flip. Reduce the reliance on a coin flip where you make a guess and hope it pays off. I'm sorry, isn't this most PvP games? Isn't this most PvP games where you hope whatever strategy you do, where every strategy you take and do, it's a coin flip? You just hope it works? Additionally, we have done a pass on some of the Spirit's add-ons to bring them more in line and make the lesser used add-ons more appealing, like the Trapper. Some of these changes are small tweaks while others are completely new effects. Waki Wak Wak. Okay, let me actually try. Wakizashi Saya, yes. So during Yamaoka's hunting, use the activate ability button to return to the husk in the hunting. So now we are trying to add what's her name from Overwatch? Tracer. Now we're trying to add Tracer into Dead by Daylight. We're trying to make Tracer a killer. First Nurse, now Spirit. Cynical Hanabi. Thin sparklers that light up summer nights and display the beauty of ephemeral moments in life. When Yamaoka's haunting ends, the spirit husk explodes and any vault locations within 4 meters are blocked for 5 seconds. So I can already tell you this. This is probably going to be a problematic add-on to some survivors due to the simple fact that the way I can see this being used, her husk practically becomes bamboozle. They literally turned her husk into bamboozle, and I feel that survivors are gonna have a problem with that. I mean, I don't know. It's worth a shot to see, but Like, it's let's just continue on. Alrighty, killer add-ons update. What does moderately mean? How much more is it tremendously compared to considerably? If you ever found yourself in this situation, you're not alone. We use descriptive words like these to keep descriptions simple, but they end up causing just as much confusion since it's not immediately clear how much they're doing. With that in mind, we have done a pass on all killer add-ons to list their exact effects. We plan to extend this to the rest of the game, items, perks, etc. in the future. Okay, good. On top of that, killer add-ons that apply a status effect will now have a brief description of what that status effect does. While our designers were going through hundreds of killer add-ons one by one to update their description, they also noted down a few changes as well. There's far too many to list here, but we've changed some add-ons on the following killers. So Max got it. Okay, Max and Sally, they needed, like, I'm sorry, behavior. Y'all turned their fucking add-ons into a joke when y'all reworked them. Mikey, he needs brand new add-ons, like, and just to get rid of tier 1. Like, I have a Mikey video, like, y'all can click on the link above to find out my thoughts about Mikey. The Hag, okay, I'm not much of a Hag player, but some of her add-ons did need to be addressed. The Oni, the Blight, Wraith. Okay, so the only complained about add-on. Hold on, wait. While our designers were going through hundreds of killer add-ons one by one to update their description, they also noted down a few more changes. Okay, so yeah, changes. So the only problem that the only add-on that survivors are having a problem with on Wraith is all-seeing blood. And I generally don't see a problem with that add-on, because what the add-on does, it reveals survivors are I want to say it's probably 16. It's either 16 or 12 meters. Once you get 16 to 12 meters from them, and survivors have a problem with that add-on because they're not getting enough time to run. But I hate to say it, that's your motherfucking fault for not being vigilant. Amanda, she needs more. She just needs a rework in general. James, I'm not sure what add-on changes they did to James. These changes focus mostly on unused add-ons or add-ons that are too weak / powerful. Okay. Behavior. Make sure y'all aren't catering to survivors' complaints when you're talking about powerful. All right. Perk updates. Variety is the spice of life, and indirectly Dead by Daylight matches too. And ongoing efforts to give you more options to choose from. Now we're updating a huge list of perks. Without further ado, let's run through some of them quickly. Vigil, nice and simple. We're increasing the recovery rate from 10, 15, 20% to 20, 25, 30%. Additionally, Vigil will now increase the rate of the broken, exposed, and oblivious status effect as well, where applicable. In short, more situations where it's useful and even faster recovery too. Okay, I can get along with this. Babysitter / guardian. Another small tweak. The rescue survivor will now receive a speed boost for 4, 6, 8 seconds in addition to not leaving scratch marks or pools of blood. The R reading duration has been doubled. Alright, this is a good buff to this perk. This is an anti-tunneling perk, if I'm being honest with you. Like, it's like, hopefully, you know, I'll say that at the end. For the people can create some amazing moments, but the trade-off for being broken can make it very risky to justify using. We decrease the duration of the broken status effect. We're decreasing 110, 190 seconds to 80, 70, 60 seconds. That's fair in my opinion. Hex Retribution. Previously, Hex Retribution will only make a survivor oblivious if they cleanse the dull totem. Now, interacting with any kind of totem will make them oblivious. Additionally, we've increased the aura reading duration once the Hex totem is cleansed to 15 seconds. Okay, I can agree. It's Hex Retribution, meh. Hex Blood Favor. I wonder what they're going to say about this one. This perk shipped with very safe conditions, so it didn't get out of control. Upon reflection, we feel comfortable with removing some of these restrictions. Hex Blood Favor will no longer have a cooldown, will also activate upon successful special attacks as well. Thank you, behavior. Hex Blood Favor will no longer have a cooldown. It should have never had a cooldown in the first place. It's a fucking Hex perk. a Hex perk with the cooldown. I'm glad y'all are sorta kinda starting to use your goddamn brain. Hex the third seal, just like the above, we've added special attacks to Hex the third seal as well. This should make the perk more practical on killers that focus more on dealing damage with their power. Okay, so that's just a small, nice little buff. Thrill of the Hunt with boon perks. Here we go with boon perks. With boon perks making their way to the game, more on this soon, we decided to give Thrill of the Hunt some love by extending the speed penalty from cleansing to blessing as well. Why are we adding survivor objectives to killers? That's my question. Okay, so overall, perk updates, Vigil's update is pretty nice. Babysitter / garden, that's pretty nice. For the people, pretty nice. Retribution, if I'm being honest with you, I never see anybody use Retribution, so like I just don't know what to feel about that. But Hex Blood Favor is probably the best because they finally removed a cooldown off of a Hex perk. I'm sorry guys, Hex perks should not have cooldowns. Third seal, it's my last video before this one. I used third seal and I really wasn't having this problem, but I understand what they mean by it. So pretty much, if Hillbilly chainsaws you, then you're gonna be blind. Thrill of the Hunt is behavior. Scrap this. Boon perks. Scrap this. You need to scrap this behavior. Because in my opinion, if you're gonna add boon perks, what I would do is I would tie boon perks to any killer's Hex perk. That's what I would do, and I'm just spitting off the top of my head. Alright, item and character kill switch. Last but not least, let's talk about a game health feature. Oh, this should be interesting. The item and character kill switch, with over 50 playable characters and their cosmetics, nearly 200 perks, and hundreds more add-ons and offerings in the game. Sometimes things do break. Rarely things will break in a way that makes them exploitable, and that can make the next week or two before a fix really rough. Yeah, you know, I'm not gonna throw shade. Enter the kill switch. It's actually a lot nicer than it sounds. The kill switch allows us to disable anything that causes an issue without needing an update. When something breaks and becomes exploitable, we switch it off until it is fixed. This is something we've been able to do with maps for a while now to great effect. Disabled items and characters will be clearly marked and cannot be selected. What this means to you, when thing breaks and people start to abuse it, you won't have to play against it for a week or two until there's a fix. Okay, so I'm just wondering how effective this is going. I'm just curious how effective this is going to be. Like, this doesn't affect gameplay or anything. I like the fact that they're adding a kill switch, but in my honest opinion, I think this should be a thing that anytime you go back to the main menu and the kill switch catches something, like, you should just have a kill switch log, and we should be able to pull up that kill switch log. Just like that's what I would, in my opinion, that's what I would do. I would just add another tab that's called kill switch, and you can click on it and find out what's been killed. Like, it's like, this is a good update. This will help behavior out big time, trying to notice something instead of everybody all at once trying to report it. But I don't have a lot of faith in the system because a lot of behavior system just doesn't work. So with that, we shall give you a break. Okay, so overall, so only thing that I have to say about the developer update, so perk updates, if I'm being honest with you guys, I'm glad behavior is doing a perk update due to the simple fact that one of the reasons why I just haven't been playing Dead by Daylight is due to the simple fact this game's meta needs to shift. Meta perks need to be changed. Well, no. It's not even official that. It's not that meta perks need to be changed. It's the meta needs to be shifted. And the only reason why the meta cannot be shifted on the survivor side, I do believe the meta can be shifted. The only problem is that people just enjoy their chases, and like the killer meta for sure needs to be honestly, I feel that killers shouldn't have a meta in my honest opinion. I feel that killers really shouldn't have a meta, but overall the meta of this game needs to be shifted. Killer add-on updates, I'm mostly looking forward to Max Thompson Jr. and Sally Smithson's and Mikey's add-ons. I'm mostly looking forward to their add-ons. Like Max Thompson Jr., he got trash add-ons. Sally Smithson, only like 4 of her add-ons are viable. And Mikey, overall, he needs new add-ons in my opinion. He just needs brand new add-ons. Trapper, this is a good, honestly, I see this more as a quality of life change for Trapper than a buff to him. But like it's good that Trapper is getting some love. For Spirit, I have a lot of hate towards this behavior. Why are we making killers more of a pain in the ass to play as, but making the game more easier for survivors to play? That's the only thing that I have to say. Like legit. I made a video explaining why if you do this to her kit, you are either going to make her unfun to play as, or you are going to butcher her kit. I just hope they do a PTB about this. I seriously hope they do a PTB about this. I would love to participate in that PTB, but because my PTB queue times are trash because nobody in my region plays in the PTB, I'm going to have to rely on other content creators so that I can form an opinion. And if I'm being honest with you, I hate forming an opinion on other people's content. But we're gonna see what they do about Spirit. Like the only reason why it doesn't necessarily make me mad, it just goes to show that, like, I'm not sure how to put this. The way I see Spirit, I am a Spirit main, and I love playing against Spirit. I love playing against her because you play against her a different way. I love taking a risk. That's why I love playing against her and as her, because I love taking a risk. If you play I'm sorry, but no PvP game that exists, you're not just blind. Like you don't always get the accurate counterplay information that you need. A lot of PvP games, it's a fucking coin flip. It's not always a 100% coin flip. I mean, Destiny, yeah, sure, you got someone on radar. Hey, you know that person is over there, but you don't know if they're a Titan. You don't know if they're a hunter. You don't know if they're a warlock. You don't know if they have their super. You don't know if they have a broken gun. Hell, Destiny 1 Year 3, the Clever Dragon was a broken pulse rifle. You could expect to always see it and plan accordingly and figure out your tactics to deal with it. But I guess with Spirit, Dead by Daylight has evolved with Spirit to the point to where, or gaming in general has evolved to the point to where it's easier to complain rather than figure out counterplay. Before I kick a dead horse, let's go ahead and close the video out. I apologize for not making content. I just have not been playing Dead by Daylight. I haven't had the motivation to play Dead by Daylight, and it's all because of skill-based matchmaking. I'm probably going to do a video explaining why, but that is all I have for you guys for now. I am Migrant the Great, and I will see you guys in the next video.